Hello, everyone. Today, I'll take you to witness an extraordinary and unique project, a bamboo house built across the cliff walls, perched right above a small waterfall. Join me as we explore every detail of this house, from its construction process to its perfect harmony with the surrounding landscape. The process begins with him skillfully gathering long, sturdy logs from the surrounding forest. These logs, carefully selected for their strength and durability, are then floated down the stream, using the natural force of the waterfall to transport them to the base. It's a clever and efficient method, demonstrating his deep understanding of both the environment and his resources. Once the logs are collected at the foot of the waterfall, he uses a specialized sharp-pointed axe to carve precise holes into the cliff walls on either side of the waterfall. This step requires not only physical strength, but also meticulous attention to detail to ensure that the holes are evenly aligned and capable of securely holding the logs. To determine the exact span needed for the structure, he uses a bamboo pole as a measuring tool, bridging the gap between the two cliff walls. This traditional yet effective method allows him to gauge the perfect distance. With the measurements in hand, he carefully cuts the logs to match the required length, ensuring they fit snugly between the two cliffs. Next, he carefully lifts and positions two large logs horizontally across the gap, placing their ends into the holes he previously carved on both sides of the waterfall. These logs are securely anchored into the cliff walls, forming the initial framework for the house's floor. After securing the floor frame, he climbs up the waterfall and heads into the forest to gather bamboo. Using a sharp machete, he skillfully cuts down the bamboo, paying attention to preserving their straightness and structural integrity. He selects only the strongest, longest, and most durable bamboo stalks, ensuring they will be sturdy enough for the construction. After gathering the bamboo, he begins the challenging task of maneuvering the long stalks through the dense undergrowth. Carefully pushing the bamboo through the tangled grass and plants, he makes sure they stay aligned and don't get caught on the surrounding foliage. He continues to guide the bamboo, ensuring it reaches the construction site safely and ready for the next phase of the project. With a bamboo pole as his guide, he calculates the exact length needed for each piece of bamboo to create a stable and evenly spaced floor structure. Once he has the precise measurement, he grabs a saw and begins cutting the long bamboo stalks into shorter sections, each one matching the exact length he just measured. The process requires steady hands and a keen eye, as each bamboo piece must be cut with precision to ensure it will fit snugly between the logs. With each bamboo section carefully cut to size, he is preparing the material that will soon form the foundation of the house's floor. He then takes a sharp knife and carefully creates grooves along the length of each bamboo section. As he carves these grooves, he works slowly and with great care, making sure not to split or damage the bamboo, ensuring that each piece remains intact and stable. Creating the grooves is a delicate process, as he must maintain the right depth and width to ensure the bamboo can be securely joined together later. Once the grooves are finished, he proceeds to split each bamboo stalk lengthwise with a sharp tool. This cut transforms the bamboo sections into flat, smooth panels, effectively turning the cylindrical bamboo into sturdy bamboo planks. After splitting the bamboo into planks, he uses a knife to carefully shave off the inner nodes of the bamboo. This step is essential to ensure that the bamboo planks are completely smooth and flat, carefully removing the nodes without damaging the integrity of the bamboo. This transformation is crucial, as these bamboo planks will serve as the main material for building the floor and walls of the house. Next, he begins placing the shorter bamboo sections across the two wooden beams that form the floor frame. Carefully arranging them with even gaps between each piece, he ensures that the bamboo pieces are aligned properly for a sturdy foundation. Once the bamboo is in position, He secures each piece by tying it tightly to the wooden beams using thin bamboo strips. Working methodically, he knots each tie with precision, ensuring that each bamboo section is firmly fixed in place, creating a solid and stable floor. The strips are then tied in intricate knots, pulling the bamboo pieces firmly against the beams. His hands move with precision as he works, making sure each knot is tight enough to hold the bamboo securely, but not so tight that it risks snapping or damaging the delicate material. He repeats this process for every bamboo piece, working slowly, but steadily to make sure each section is properly secured. As he ties each knot, he pulls it with just the right amount of tension, creating a firm and stable connection. Once the bamboo planks are securely tied to the wooden frame, he begins arranging the bamboo panels he prepared earlier on top of the floor frame. Carefully, he places each panel one by one across the frame, ensuring that the pieces are evenly spaced and aligned properly from one side to the other. With each new piece, the floor begins to take shape. He works methodically, making sure that the bamboo planks are not only aligned with the frame, but also positioned in a way that ensures maximum stability. The bamboo's natural curvature is taken into account, so the pieces are adjusted to form a solid, level surface. The bamboo panels cover the entire floor frame, creating a seamless layer of bamboo. With each bamboo panel placed, he takes thin bamboo strips and arranges them horizontally across the panels, creating an additional layer of support and stability. He then uses more thin bamboo strips to tie these horizontal pieces securely to the underlying floor frame. Each knot is tied tightly, making sure the panels are firmly fixed in place, ensuring a solid and movable floor. After completing the bamboo floor, he turns his attention to gathering several more pieces of wood from the surrounding area. Carefully selecting the strongest and most durable logs, he begins to stack them neatly on the bamboo floor, preparing them for the next stage of construction. After arranging the logs, he begins the next step, cutting the long pieces into shorter, more manageable sections. Using a handsaw, he cuts each log with precision, ensuring that the lengths are uniform and appropriate for the vertical supports of the house. He measures each section carefully, marking the desired lengths and making each cut methodically, so every piece fits perfectly into the frame. These shorter logs will serve as the vertical supports for the frame of the house, acting as the main pillars that will hold up the structure. Each piece is cut to a precise length, ensuring they will fit perfectly into the design of the house. Once the logs are cut, he turns his attention to shaping the ends of each one. Taking his knife, he carves grooves along the ends of the logs, ensuring that each groove is deep and wide enough to fit snugly into the other logs when they are stacked and joined together. After finishing the grooves at the ends of the logs, he carefully transports them to the bamboo floor. He positions approximately 8 logs along the perimeter, ensuring they are evenly spaced, while placing 2 additional logs in the center of the floor, providing extra support for the structure. Once satisfied with the placement, he uses nails to fix the logs in place. He carefully drives the nails through each log into the large wooden beams of the floor frame. Next, he collects more pieces of wood and brings them to the floor. These new logs are to be placed across the top of each pair of vertical support logs. He carefully positions each log on top of the supporting post, ensuring they are properly aligned to form a sturdy frame. With a hammer and nails, he secures the logs to the tops of the vertical posts, firmly anchoring them in place. One by one, he continues this process for each pair of vertical posts, adding the horizontal logs across the tops, effectively connecting the supports together. These horizontal logs act as cross beams, reinforcing the structure and providing additional strength to the frame. Each log is secured with precision, ensuring the connections are tight and stable. The front part of the structure is framed with horizontal beams that will support the S-shaped roof, which stretches across the width of the house. Meanwhile, the rear section of the frame is built with a similar frame, but oriented vertically, running from the front to the back of the house. He gathers several thin bamboo strips and places them under the floor, preparing to use them for the roof. Starting with the frame at the back of the house, he begins arranging the bamboo strips one by one, placing them diagonally across the frame. The strips are carefully aligned, each overlapping slightly with the next to ensure a solid and secure coverage. At the peak of the roof, he carefully places a long bamboo strip across the top, securing it with nails to the frame. This bamboo strip acts as a ridge beam, holding the top ends of the slanted bamboo strips in place, ensuring they stay secure and stable. Once he has completed one side of the roof, he moves to the other side and applies the same methods he used earlier. He gathers more bamboo strips and carefully arranges them diagonally across the frame structure, ensuring they are placed evenly and with a slight overlap, just like on the first side. He then takes a split bamboo log and places it flat on its back between the horizontal and vertical frame sections of the roof. He carefully securing it firmly with nails to the frame. Next, from the peak of the horizontal frame, he begins to place bamboo strips, arranging them diagonally across the roof frame, following the slope of the roof. He carefully aligns each strip so that the lower ends of the bamboo pieces fit neatly into the groove of the split bamboo log, creating a seamless water drainage system. As he works, he ensures that each bamboo strip is securely fastened with nails and perfectly positioned, so the roof will remain stable and functional. Once the first section of the roof is complete, he moves on to the other side of the roof, repeating the process. He arranges the bamboo strips diagonally, continuing the pattern from the first side, and nails them securely in place. With each piece of bamboo carefully aligned and secured, the roof is now fully covered, creating a sturdy and functional barrier against the elements. The water channel, created by the split bamboo log, will efficiently direct rainwater off the roof. He then takes the split bamboo logs and begins placing them vertically into the frame of the house to create the walls. He carefully arranges each bamboo piece, starting from the bottom and working his way up. Each piece is secured with small rope, tightly binding the logs to the frame. As he works his way upward, the bamboo pieces stack neatly, creating a solid wall. Once the first wall is completed, he moves on to the next one. This time, he uses whole bamboo logs, placing them in a similar manner, starting from the bottom edge of the floor and working upward. He secures each log with small rope, ensuring the logs are spaced evenly and tightly bound to the frame. As he reaches the front wall, he repeats the same technique, placing the bamboo logs one by one, securing them tightly with rope. He divides the last wall into 3 sections, each with a rectangular frame. For the first section of the wall, starting from the bottom, he arranges horizontal bamboo logs. As he works upward to knee height, he switches to placing vertical bamboo pieces, filling the space up to waist height. From there, he places horizontal bamboo logs again, continuing to the top of the wall. As he begins working on the second rectangular frame, he decides to approach it slightly differently. Starting from the bottom, he places the vertical bamboo logs first, ensuring they are spaced evenly apart and securely fastened to the frame. Once the vertical pieces are in place, he begins placing the horizontal bamboo logs. After this, he switches back to vertical bamboo logs until he reaches the top. The third section of the wall is built in the same way as the first, with horizontal bamboo logs at the bottom and vertical ones in the middle, creating a balanced and symmetrical design. The walls are now strong and well secured, completing the framework of the house. He begins working on the railing for the front porch of the house, starting with the side of the house. He carefully arranges thin bamboo strips in an X shape, one after the other, and places them into the grooves of 2 bamboo logs that form the framework of the railing. The height of the railing is about knee-high, providing a protective barrier around the porch. Once the side railing is complete, he moves on to the opposite side of the porch. Using the same technique, he arranges the bamboo strips into the X pattern, carefully placing them into the grooves of the bamboo logs that form the frame. The process is repeated, ensuring the railing is secure and the spacing between the bamboo strips is consistent. He moves on to constructing the railing from the porch to the rock wall. He starts by placing the bamboo logs horizontally across the space from the frame of the house to the rock wall. Once the horizontal bamboo logs are securely in place, he begins inserting thin bamboo strips vertically into pre-drilled holes along the length of the horizontal logs. He brings a small staircase that he had previously made and carefully places it at the front of the house. He adjusts it to make sure it is securely aligned with the edge of the rock wall. He brings a square wooden frame and places it in front of the house. The frame is carefully positioned, and he begins to fill the inside with earth, creating a simple yet functional fire pit. Once the frame is filled and secured, he gathers some firewood from the surrounding area. The logs are stacked neatly on the fire pit, arranged in a way that will allow air to circulate, ensuring a steady burn. He carefully arranges the pieces of wood, and once everything is in place, he strikes a match to start the fire.